Everyone, it's Gary. Hope you all are doing well, and welcome to the second 2019 Path to Prosperity live webinar. Let me just check a few things out here real quick. All right, looks like we got some new folks that signed up during December. That's good. Okay, so let me do this. Let me just make sure everybody's okay as far as the audio video goes. So, can you see my screen and hear my voice? So if you guys can answer that, that would be awesome. And also, if you have any questions before we get into today's subject, go ahead and type them in now if you don't mind. To what we're going to do today is we're going to go over creating, maintaining, marketing to, and cleaning your CMS. Do this every year, first part of the year, because guys, this is your gold. And in addition to everything I can teach you and show you through examples and experiences and so forth, I can tell you, if you don't have a CMS that it's built correctly and maintained properly and marketed to effectively, you're just going to be working very hard for fewer results. That's just the bottom line there. The point is this: is your CMS, your contact management system, is your gold. Doesn't matter where you come from. You could be a flipper, a landlord buying rentals. You could be a property management company. You could be a broker, which is what most of you are, real estate agents, and any type of investor for that matter. Having a database, I mean, for every contact. I mean, think about it. If you're investing, who do you know? I mean, probably know one or more attorneys. You probably know one or more lenders. Probably know at least an inspector, an appraiser, a banker, an inspector. I mean, the insurance person. List goes on and on. Okay, that's why this is so important. What I want to do first off is make sure everybody's okay on the technology, and everybody says yes so far. Thank you for telling me that. Appreciate that. Real quick, I had a question come in, so hang on just real tight, guys. Before we get into the question, a little bit of housekeeping. For those of you who are new, welcome aboard. Great way to start off the year. I got a good feeling about 2019, and I have some logical reasons to not feel that way, but I got some very good reasons, spiritual reasons and otherwise, to definitely feel that way. So I want you guys to be on board from start to finish. Always be prepared to take action. Nothing can compare with persistence and consistency, okay? So a little bit of housekeeping. If you're watching this in recorded mode, most of you are here are live, of course. Some of you are going to watch this in recorded mode. Regardless, always look for the email the next day from Beverly that contains the recording of this webinar, okay? And also, she gives you updates to the systems and platforms. We have effectively purchased a brand new learning management system, so most of you are now used to digital chalk, and we're going to be rolling in the new system going forward with new students. So if you're already in one program and you later on invest in another training program, that new program will be delivered to you through the new learning management system. More to come on that. For right now, I just want to tell you that's some of the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes, and you'll get updates on. Also, updates to the schedule, okay, and any other information we need to convey to you. So please always look for the email and read that thoroughly. A little bit about the schedule. I am officially in California. Got here Friday night after driving for 3 days, and I'll be here all the way through likely the end of April. Starting off San Diego, spend about 2 months in LA, then up through Central Valley, Central Coast, all the way up to San Francisco, Sacramento, all the way up through Redding and Anderson, California, all the way up to Oregon. Okay, that's going to take me through April. So in any case, I'm 3 months behind a lot of you, 2 hours behind a lot of you, 1 hour behind a lot of you. Just keep that in mind. We always do make accommodations for the different time zones depending on where I am. So in any case, for those of you who are here in California, please look at the schedule on myinvestorservices.com/events, see where I'm going to be, and come see me, okay? And if you want to just come out and get some sunshine between now and March, come on aboard. I got my boogie board, I got my flip-flops, my flippers, and my spring suit, like a half a wetsuit, access to 2 paddle boards, and you got thousands of miles of coastline, and hundreds of mountains and trails and all kinds of fun stuff to do. So in any case, without further ado, let's get right to it here. We did have a question coming in from Mary Beth Grasso. So hang on one second here. Let me go back to the beginning, Marianne. Oops. Okay, here we go. It might not be the place to type this. I've done nothing since you were in the office 2019 resolution of going to do this investor relationship work that you shared. Just thought I'd write it. Won't speak for now. I've got a 7:30 appointment, so I'll only be on for the first 20 minutes. Thanks, Mary Beth Grasso. Trumbull, all right, Trumbull, Connecticut. Okay, no worries, and happy New Year to you too, Mary Beth. And I will tell you this, I know getting started it's just like anything else. It's that first step always seems like the hardest one, but remember this, Mary Beth, just like math, anything you ever learn in math, algebra, trigonometry, geometry, calculus, whatever, at some point you're going to reach a level of math where it's going to look hard until you learn it. And all of a sudden it looks really easy, okay? So the answer is take that first step. You took it today by being on this, and I appreciate you doing that. That's the first step. Everything else from here on out will get much easier for you. So just stay on board, stay connected, take action, set up a strategy call with me. Let's make sure you and I get together, we're in sync. So I know that you're taking the very best next step is the right one for you, okay? So I appreciate you being candid, because one of the first things you can do is actually face it. Face what it is you're, oh yeah, I do read these out loud. This is unscripted, open mic, and sometimes I get questions, that quite frankly, some people might be afraid of, but you know what, you guys deserve 100% open candor, 100%. And okay, this is Jeanette. Hey Jeanette, Gary, this is premature. I hear, is this premature to form a LLC since I don't have any transaction in my immediate future? Jeanette, I would say it's not the most important thing, but if you're going to run your commissions through it, why not start off that way, okay? And also, any LLC you create for running your commissions through, that would be set up as a S-type, okay? When you elect your designation on your tax form, you want to select S-type, sub-S corp, because those are ideal structures, business structures for service companies. For ownership, for owning properties, rentals, flips, wholesaling, what have you, those should be just straight, simple LLCs, single member. They look like a sole proprietorship, but LLCs nonetheless, okay? So that's an excellent question. Okay, so let's get to it, guys. First things first. Everybody here should have some type of contact management system. This is where you're going to house contact information on people you know. Could be potential clients, could be just simply prospects, right? If you're a broker or agent. Also, if you're not a broker agent and you're an investor, same thing, right? Anybody who's what we call a vendor, that's a contractor. The groups we mentioned earlier, an attorney, a lender, you should have multiple lenders, insurance guy. Have them all in here. Okay. Now, if a lot of you are Keller Williams, you have what's called E-Edge. It's free. I'd suggest if you're new, you start off with the free version of E-Edge. They made some major updates to it. It's actually pretty good. If you've been in the business for a bit and you're ready for something new, and I'm just suggesting this, I'm not saying this is what you need to do, but my personal opinion is this: is Top Producer is an awesome system for people who are real estate agents and brokers. I've been with them for years. They've made some major upgrades in the last several years, and they're hard to compete with. Okay. Now, if you're doing stuff like me, you want to the Cadillac of all systems is called Infusionsoft. It's the most expensive, but it's also the most robust. You really don't need that unless you're really running a business or running businesses like I do. And all of you, my goal for all of you, for you, is to be a business person, to run a business. And when you got Infusionsoft, you know you made it, okay? So in any case, graduate to Top Producer, and you'll find yourself having it much easier when you do marketing campaigns, okay? So in any case, whatever you're using, even if you use an Excel spreadsheet, that's okay. You can build your spreadsheet. So column 1, right, is going to be the name. Column 2 might be phone number, email address, physical address, on down the line like that, okay? But here's what I want you to consider. when you're first building it, I'll just give you my experience. When I first did this, I don't know how many years ago, I get confused. I just turned 56. And I can tell you, your memory doesn't work as good as it did the day before when you were 55. Just kidding. When I first learned to do this, this was what my mentor told me. He said, everybody's going to tell you, you should be able to come up with 200 to 300 people. And I thought, okay, I'll do it. In my first stab at it, I came up with like 20 people because I came from the IT world. I was doing mergers and acquisitions and banking, and they didn't let us out to see people and customers. We got stuck behind computers and behind these desks, and we never saw the light of day. So bottom line is, I thought I failed miserably. And he laughed and he said, you didn't fail. You just came up with 20 people you didn't have a half hour ago. And he said, that was just a half-hour exercise. He said, now the trick is to build it to 200 to 300 people. And you'd be surprised at how many people you do know, okay? So in any case, that's step number one. Is what you want to do is, this is one of the easiest things you can do. And it sounds so simple, it's like almost ludicrous how simple this is. He told me this the next time I met with him. He said, now get a phone book and start with the A's and just start scanning through. And I said, you mean I'm going to write down all these people on the phone? He said, no. You're going to come up with names that are going to trigger your recall function, and you'll realize how many more people you actually do know. So I started going through A, B, C, on down the line like that. And of course, you just skimming it because there's a lot of repetition. By the time I got to Z, and this took, it took a little while, but I actually did get to my 200 people, and he was right. I realized I knew a lot more people than I originally thought. So if you want a real trick, guys, write this down. Get a phone book out. They still produce them, believe it or not. You can find them in almost any office building, any place where there's offices. They'll usually deliver them to your own home on your doorstep, even to apartment buildings. Just pick one up. If you don't want to go through the effort, just go online. Go to white pages and yellow pages online. They're all out there. And then go through. And if you want to, feel like you want to take your time doing it because you're kind of busy, just do 1 letter per day for the next 26 days. 1 letter per day for the next 26 days, okay? So do that, and I promise you, your recall function will kick in, and you'll identify many, many, many more people than you thought you knew, all right? And put down as much information as you can. If they happen to be in the phone book, that's great, because you can write down their phone number and their address, okay? But also look at your phone. If you, like me, I save everything. I've got every contact out there for every person I've spoken to, name, phone number, and whenever I can, I get email right off the bat. Always get email instantly, as fast as you can get it. Okay, so go through your phone and do that. The bottom line is you want to build it. You want to build that database and build it as fast as you can and make it the first thing you do, because any marketing you do after this, guys, is going to be far more productive. If you're doing marketing and you're not using your database, or you don't have a database, I'm telling you, you're wasting a lot of money, okay? Because what that means is you're doing broadcast marketing. You're sending out postcards. You're doing all kinds of stuff like that on whatever things on the internet, where it's going to a broad group of people who you don't know. And if you've done it, you probably recognize you didn't get a lot of leads out of it, did you? Okay. There's a reason for that. The world has changed, and people just don't respond to that type of stuff like they used to. We do what's called direct response, or there's all kinds of terms for it, but the bottom line is this: we pre-select our audience based on data, demographic, social graphic. We know who we're going after, and we send them specifically worded pieces, so we elicit a higher response rate. But in any case, that's for the future. Right now, let's go back to the database. So let me do this. I want to poll you guys. Everybody type in your answer here. How many of you have a database right now? Just type in yes or no, and let's see how many people have one, how many people don't. Okay, and if you want to type in and say, I'm using eEdge, I'm using Top Producer, I'm just using my own homegrown spreadsheet, type that in too. I want to see what those answers are. Okay, the bottom line is the fact that you have one is a huge step forward. If you don't have one, don't be disheartened, guys. Just start now. Seriously, like when we're done today, I mean, it's 4 o'clock from you out here in California. And hi, Genevieve, by the way. I know it's 7 o'clock where you are. Just get it out there and get started, right? No doubt about it. So in any case, that's the first thing. Now, here's something else I want to go over with you. Maintaining it, building it over time does take effort, but I'm going to make this very simple for you. This is one of the easiest things you can do to grow and maintain a very profitable database, which is this. Many of you have seen me in person. Most of you have seen me in person teaching in class or at a 3-day event, and I have this right here. Okay, this is my Franklin. Let's see, what's today? Today is January the 7th. Look at January the 7th. Okay, this is all the things I'm supposed to do, right? These are scheduled calls, like here, down here, you'll see the webinar, right? Oops, wrong way, there you go. And over here are all the notes I've been taking, excuse me, throughout the day. Let me hide my face here. Is that showing up? Look at all my notes, okay? And it's still 4 o'clock. I got calls to make after this. I use this, and if you notice, everything's in pencil, okay? Now we'll save this subject for another day, which is planning. So back to this. The reason I point this out is I've always got this with me. I'm not necessarily carrying it in the grocery store, for example. I do carry it in the restaurants, by the way, because usually I'm eating dinner by myself. But I keep this with me at all times in my car, wherever I am. I can get to it in minutes, and here's why. Let's say you go to the grocery store. Let's put you in the example here. You go to the grocery store. We just celebrated Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, okay? Chances are you went there to get some food to prepare a meal. And chances are, I'm willing to bet in a month's time of going to the grocery store, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 times? I'm willing to bet you ran into at least one person that you met them in the grocery store, or you already knew them. What I do is I make a mental note. Sometimes I keep paper in my pocket and a pen or a pencil, and right away I write down their name so I don't forget it. If I can't do that, as soon as I get back to my car, guys, I write down their name. All right, write it down. And by the way, if it's a new person that you just met, remember this. What do most people ask you after you first met? Actually, type it in. Let me see what kind of questions I get. What do people ask you after you've made your, hi, I'm Gary, hi, I'm Jane. What do they ask you? What do you do? Everybody, you guys are all getting it right. What do you do? All right. You ask them, they ask you. Perfect opportunity to say, I'm glad you asked. You don't even say that if you don't want to. Say, well, I'm a realtor and I specialize in working with investors, or I'm a lender. Doug Carroll's a lender. I specialize in lending money to people buying and selling or buying homes, or buying investment properties. Okay. And, you say this, you should say this, say, you know what? Start of the brand new year, the economy is shifting. Have you ever considered, actually, do you own your own home right now? Start with that. Oh, have you ever considered investing in investment property? I'm not trying to sell anything right here on the spot. I just want to tell you, there's some really good information for you out there. Would you like some of that information for free? In order to do that, once they say yes, I need to have your email address. Let's just start with that, okay? Or nowadays, everybody has cell phones, right? So what do you do now? The iPhones, you can tap on each other and you connect and get content information that way. You should say, look, what's your number? I'm going to send you a text right now. Then later on, we'll reconnect it tonight. I'll show you some things that you may want to consider reading to learn more about investing. Just real quick reads, pique your interest. And if you're really interested, I'll send you a list of properties. No obligation, just see what's out there. How about that? Now you got yourself a bona fide contact, all because you simply opened up your mouth and you spoke and you got to meet somebody. And what's interesting, if you guys, some of you know me for quite a while on here. I know this may sound strange, but my nature is actually to be shy. When I was a kid, in the grocery store, I was a kid hiding behind my mom's coat, walking down the aisles. Especially when she saw somebody, I literally would hide back. I'd go under her coat. That's what I did. Okay. Doing this, if you're like me, it ain't easy the first time. It's very awkward, and people might think you're some kind of weirdo or something. I don't know. But in any case, you get used to it, you get better at it. It comes out naturally, it flows out. So Genevieve, I know you're going to be really good at this, because I know you and I've had some great conversations. Just every opportunity. So Genevieve, if you think of Rock Thomas, think about that. Do you think he takes advantage of every opportunity he has? I can guarantee he does. So in any case, Now, that's just part A. Part B is this. So you go back to your car, you write this down, whatever it is you got to do, you make sure you document the information you just got, okay? At night at home, this is what separates the people who really excel and those who just simply get by, which is this thing. They actually capitalize this on the first day. So every day, one of my action items is go into my contact management system, go to the notes where I've written down the people I've met. If they're in the contact management system, make an update. If they're not there, I create the entry. Guys, I do that every single day, and it takes like a matter of minutes. I mean, let's face it, we're already in our computer every day or on our phone going to our email, right? If you're already there, just click on the link to go to your CMS and make the updates. If you're already in email, if you're checking Facebook, if you're checking LinkedIn, if you're checking your email, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you're doing online, you're already on the computer or your phone. Take advantage of it. In any case, I'm starting to get excited here, but let me take a quick break because I've seen a lot of questions coming in. I've got a lot more to give you guys, so hang in there. But let's go through the questions first. Yeah, that was the question to. Okay, here's some interesting answers. Let's see, Mary Beth, 39, Jeff Johnson, 39. Oh yeah. Okay, so people are using eEdge. Okay, let's go back here. eEdge, Excel spreadsheet. That's Genevieve. Jeanette, eEdge, contractually. Yeah. Now, Cedric, I haven't used that. Heard some great comments about it, man. So, hey, Cedric, by the way, I'll be seeing you here in a couple nights. Let's see, another Excel spreadsheet. Hey, Pam, how you doing? 35. Oh, Jeff, so you got 35. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, don't let that deter you. So do the exercise I gave you. Get out the phone book, use it to jog your memory. To basically, what it does is it takes your recall function and puts your brain power, puts more emphasis on recall at that moment. See, real quick science lesson here, guys. Your memory actually consists of two parts: the actual the absorbing of the information and recording it. That's the recording part. But most people talk about when they say my memory stinks, they're actually they're thinking they're referring to the recording part. The bottom line is the recording is flawless. Everything you've ever seen, smelled, heard, tasted, touched, thought, did, everything is recorded. Nothing is not recorded. Everything is recorded. So you can all relax. The recording part is okay. It's the recall part that we have to develop or basically exercise. Just like exercise a muscle, you can develop your recall function, okay? I'm telling you, today I'm as old as I've ever been. I'm also as young as I'll ever be. And I bet you my recall function is best as it's ever been, okay? Not every single day, not every single moment. I get tired sometimes just like everybody. But it's the recall function you want to work on. And so, Jeff, getting out that phone book and going through and looking at it, Abel, Baker, Charlie, Debbie, and it's going to basically charge a recall function and put it in a high gear, and it'll start to work over time. It gets better and better. It's a skill you develop. It's like a muscle. It gets stronger over time. So that ought to make you feel a little better, Jeff. Okay, let's see. Cameo using eEdge. Mary Beth using Brevity. And you used top producer before. Good. That's excellent. Okay. Ellen Havehart, just like Jeff, just get started. Make the commitment and actually say this, Evelyn. Type it in. Say, Gary, I am committed to start this tonight. Just create it initially. Do the initial creation of whether you're on eEdge or Excel spreadsheet. Don't spend any money right now. Just get it out there. Okay. Let's see. Doug's using top producer and have your own spreadsheet too. So Doug, and you've used Outlook too. So Doug, I'd ask you, you're a lender, right? So top producer, I mean, would you agree it's a pretty robust platform for marketing? And you can type it in. Oh, hey, by the way, almost forgot Doug. Michelle, I didn't hear back from her. So what I did is I'm reaching out to a guy I know down in Indianapolis. He's a pretty hard charger, and I think he's going to be coming up there to meet you. I gotta make the contact and look into that, but I'll get back to you on that. And the other thing too is I'm going to be reaching outside the framework because I'm not going to be playing We're looking for people who are action takers. Let's put it that way. Let's see. So just asking, so what do you do? Oh, that's the answer to the question when people meet each other for the first time. So Genevieve is asking, what are the quick reads you send them? So, well, Genevieve, one thing you can do is you can always use the text codes. So if they are interested in flipping, you could send them the text code flip profits or flipping profits. Where the heck is this? Tell you what, Beverly's going to be listening to this, guys. Beverly, in the email out tomorrow, put in the text codes for everybody. Okay, so Genevieve, there's a text code for all 5 books. Flipping for profits without the risk, rental profits without the pain, turning rental problems into real estate profits, wholesaling so everybody wins, and investor agent, make more money, not more work. The first 4 are what you're going to want to send to your clients. But just ask them what they're interested in and send them that one, and they can get it for free. Okay. Another option is this. You've got, I think you can get as your, if you guys are active students and you're on this versus silver level membership here, if you're just paying like monthly because your year's up, you still have access to all these books over here, okay, for free. You get them for free, right? Well, you can share this with your clients. And the easiest thing though is just to do the text code, okay? So in any case, excellent questions. By the way, Genevieve, I always keep a list of books I've read. I also produce a lot of articles and blogs. So if you go to the blog, let's go to, hang on one second. My investment services. And let me reduce this. There's another option for you. Go to Profit Blog on My Investment Services. This is free. You know, whether you're a student or not, you get this automatically. So you click on that, and you get all these blogs. And everyone, if you look at it, you can click on the title. See up here, it's just the broad Profit Blog link that gives you all the blogs. Click on any particular heading, right? And it brings up the entire URL. So what you can do, guys, is cut and paste these URLs and send them to your prospects. Okay, I've written these for you to use. So let's just scroll down here. So that's one that you could have used, you could maybe not use. I don't know. Let's see what's below this. 7 reasons why investors should get their license. I thought those must be republished. Here you go. Here's another one. So click on that one. You get the link for that. So what I'm getting at, guys, for Genevieve and everyone is use those blogs to your advantage. Everything we've done for you to use, to reuse and repurpose. Okay. Also, let's see, what else can you do? Well, that's pretty good for now. So Genevieve, does that give you some help there? You've got a text code, you got a blog, and you got an ebook that you can all multiple ones that you can give to your prospects. Okay. Okay, Evelyn's asking, not sure if you're talking to this Evelyn in Atlanta, but on it. I was, Evelyn, I was speaking directly to you. So I have your name and right here in front of me here. So everything. So I appreciate you speaking up. Okay, Richard's asking, if a new person says yes to receive info, what would we send? So thanks, Richard. Hopefully you just covered that successfully for you. Let's see, this is from Doug. Doug's giving us some feedback, some insight on Top Producer. So Doug is saying, yes, Top Producer is pretty robust, almost too much sometimes. A lot of stuff there. I need to dedicate more time to it. Great on the Indy guy. I still hope to get somebody at Fort Wayne going with. Yeah, the guy from Indy, I think, is going to actually drive up to Fort Wayne. See, Doug says, I'm looking at 3 multi-units with Scott this week, and I'm close to pulling the trigger on another duplex that a friend of mine is wanting to get out of. I'll send you the numbers. Yeah, send me the spreadsheets on those if you could, Doug. That'd be great. I think that was it for Doug. Yeah. Okay. Go, Doug. Jeff Johnston. Yeah. Hey, so Jeff is the guy that's up in Michigan. Doug, I think I connected you guys. I did connect you guys together. That's right. So in any case, let's move forward here. I appreciate the questions. It sounds like you guys grasped the first part of this. The next thing is this. is marketing. So what I want you to do is this, is write this down. Having the basic contact information is really good. Name, phone number, email address, physical address, at a minimum. What really helps those guys is if you make comments in there, okay? So how many of you could type in, say, yes, I make comments, or yes, comments, that you actually make comments when you enter your records? And the second part of the question is, do you make updated comments? Because maybe, again, you saw them in a grocery store, right? And every time you see somebody, particularly if they're a prior client, even if this is bought or sold the home you're living in, remember this. Always ask them, say, that was a great deal you guys got. Are you happy with the home? Awesome. Hey, have you ever considered flipping a home or buying a rental? Make that a habit. I do that every time. And by the way, I'll give you a real quick tip here to get a really easy, quick repeat transaction. Is if you're at the closing table for a client just bought their house, or they just sold the house, whatever the case is, and do this when the papers are signed, right? Ask them to say, hey, you know what, have you ever considered buying a rental or flipping a home? You'd be surprised when people will say, gee, I've been wanting to do that, but I just bought a house. I don't mean, can I even qualify? Well, guess what? Chances are the lender might actually be there in the room with them at the closing. Get them, see what they'll qualify for on an income producing asset. And remember, lenders will include the rents coming in on the new asset in their calculations, okay? So tell them that, remind them of that, and keep the ball rolling. Say, look, I'll call you tonight, I'll email you, I'll come up with some listings for the area. Whatever the case is, take advantage of the opportunity that you just had, right? So in any case, what I'm getting at is making comments on your database is a critical piece of the puzzle. Also, not just on the entries, but every time you see that person again, just keep making updates, okay? Now, here's another update I want you to make, all right? If you're working with owner occupants and you're working with investors, and most of you who are agents, that's what you're doing, okay? And I do this every year. I go through my database, all right? Not the entire database. Now, my database now has over 70,000 people in it. That's the broader group. The inner group, the people that I've actually met, is now up to, I think, around 20,000 people. And then the smaller group, what we call like the inner circle group, are people I've actually done business with, right? And that's a few thousand. That's probably 3,000 people. And you're on there too. Every one of you is on there, by the way. Okay. So in any case, here's what I do. I started this about 16 years ago. And I got this tip from my mentor. God bless him. He's rest in peace. He's no longer here, but I learned a lot from him. And I gave that guy $1,000 a month to train me. Boy, is it worth it. And here's the tip. Here's the trick. Go through your database, and this will take some time. So this is something you might want to do one letter per day. But go through the A's, for example, tonight or tomorrow night, one by one, and ask these questions. How did you meet them? What do you know about them? What do you remember about them? That's the second question. How did you meet them? What do you know about them? What do you remember? Third question is this. How likely are they to be interested in investing? And you're going to grade them or rank them 1 to 10, right? 1 being not likely, 10 being highly likely, okay? So what we're doing is we're segmenting our database, all right? Strictly owner occupants from people who are strictly investors and everywhere in between, okay? Now, I'm sure right now your wheels are spinning thinking of all the marketing you can do and do targeted high-level specific marketing, which is really important. It's one of the best benefits of doing this step is this. Now, when you market, you can come up with specific marketing campaigns for specific people. So you don't have to send the same campaign to everybody on your database. If you do that too often, what happens is it's like you're overfishing the pond and the fish stop biting. Okay, you ever notice that happens when you're fishing and get to the point where like they're no longer biting? They get used to the same old bait, the same old position on the lake. You got to move around, you got to change things around. Back to real estate. Categorize them 1 to 10. Anybody who's an 8, 9, or 10, I'm going after them for investing. Okay. You might remember, you might be thinking, well, how can I determine this? Well, a lot of times your recall function will kick in. When you start asking, how do you remember them? How did you meet them? What do you remember about them? Your recall may say, hey, Doug, hey, Jeff, that person had a Robert Kiyosaki Rich Dad Poor Dad book on their coffee table when you were there at the listing. When you were there doing the loan, when it was up on their bookshelf, you happened to catch it. You saw Fortune magazine, you saw Kiplinger's, you saw Real Estate Investor magazine. By the way, great magazine. I know the owner and the editor for that magazine. Small, easy to read, great stuff. In any case, somebody who has something like that, some publication like that around their space is probably going to be more likely interested in investing than someone who doesn't, right? Again, what this is an intuitive process you're developing. But what it's going to do is allow you to be a much better marketer and do more specific, more highly targeted marketing to your database. And so people who are strictly owner occupants, you know what? They get a birthday card every year. They get a Christmas card. And then about 5 years out, you reconnect with them and say, hey, I see your property is now worth twice what it was when you bought it. Have you ever considered moving up? Something like that. They get that kind of a campaign. The investors, you on a regular basis show them samples of properties that are out there. And if you're really good, you'll send them one that's active, one that's under contract, and one that's sold so they can see currently what's happening for 4-unit buildings, for example, in their area. And by the way, show them something that's sold because that tells them the market's moving and yes, they can buy a property too. Show them what's active to show them that there's things actively for sale. Show them what's under contract to show them that they aren't the only ones that are smart. Other people are investing. Some other investor just got this property under contract and that could have been you. Okay. All right. So in any case, you're segmenting your database 1 to 10. Now, the third part of tonight's class is I wanted to go over the cleaning part. What I suggest is this is knock off 2 birds in 1 stone. While you're there going through that sort of a high level analysis, are they likely to invest 1 to 10? If you got a record in there that you never actually have contact with the person, you never even got a phone number, all you have is an email, they never responded to a single email, and it's been over a year, get rid of them, okay? I'm just telling you, your database is going to grow more over the years from doing things like this, and not because you kept everybody out there who's no longer with us, for example, or they moved, or they're just not interested. If they haven't responded to anything in a year, and by the way, I used to be too conservative. I'd keep people out there for 3 years and 5 years, and only to have my database grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And that's you got to maintain that, okay? And you're just taking up space needlessly. So my rule of thumb is now, no contact over a year, we put them in sleeper mode, okay? What I'm getting at is come up with what your own criteria is. If you want to make it 2 years right now because you're just starting out, or 3 years, that's fine. Then don't even clean it. I wouldn't even clean it for the first year anyways. But once you're up and running, guys, and you got some transactions coming in, make sure you clean it up. Clean out the cobwebs and make room for some active clients, okay? So in any case, that last part, I want to expand on that just a little bit. We're categorizing these people 1 to 10, 8, 9s, and 10s are the people you go after for investing marketing campaigns. But what you want to do is ask another question, which is this. Do you believe they're more interested in flipping? Do you believe they're more interested in buying rentals? Or do you believe they're more interested in wholesaling? And see if you can come up with those answers, because then you can get really highly targeted on your marketing campaigns, okay? And you can send it to the people who you believe are flippers, only things that deal with flipping, right? So for example, if I have flippers out there and I know they flipped a home and it's been about 6 months, they're ready for another one, I'm going to do a quick sort of informal CMA, all right? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find properties that I know have been flipped. And here's how I know. If they're on the MLS system twice in the year and the first price is really low and the second one's really high, chances are pretty good that was a flip, all right? And what I'll do is I'll look and see who the realtor was on the initial purchase and who the realtor was on the eventual sale. And if it was the same realtor, I know I've got another realtor out there who knows what I know. They're working with flippers is pretty profitable. I'll call up and I say, look, I work for flippers too. Looks like that one you did with Jane Doe was a pretty good darn flip. Can you tell me what they did to make that such a good flip? And most realtors will tell you, you should have seen it, man. They did the countertop, there's chandeliers, the doorknobs, whatever. And now what you have is you got a before listing, an after listing, and now you got some important story to tell from this other realtor. What the person did, the landscaping, the concrete, the painting, the light bulbs, the whole 9 yards. So when you send something to a prospective flipper on your database, you can show them this example before and after. And by the way, you'll look like a real genius when you know what kind of remodeling was done. Okay, that's another big tip for tonight. So instead of just sending something out saying, "Hey, how you doing? Just wanted to follow up and see how you're doing. How was your Christmas?" That's all good, guys. But man, when you show them something meaningful and relevant and tangent, like an example of a flip, and then you make an offer, say, look, would you be interested, or are you interested in doing another one like this yourself? Would it be okay if I sent you a sample of properties? I'll go looking right now if you give me the go ahead. All right, make an offer that they can't refuse. So now you sent them something meaningful and you made them an offer they can't refuse. And guys, this is the kind of stuff you want to do when you got a database like the kind of database we're talking about. All right, let's do another quick pause here and let's see how we're doing on questions. Because they're rolling in like thunder. Let's see. Okay, so most of you are making comments. Excellent. So PS asking, okay, yes, comments. Now will your suggestions? Yeah, but it's amazing how great minds think alike. So PF was probably anticipating where I was going with this. So PF, do those suggestions give you some insight, man? I mean, that stuff, PF, you can do like right now. And you can literally, guys, you can do this tonight. Just go through the A's and think about who might want to flip and go do the flipping example I just gave you. I'll give you an example for rentals. Let's say you have somebody, maybe they've already bought the rental with you, or you think they're more likely to want to buy rentals. What I would do is go out there and find them an active rental, under contract rental, and a pending rental, and send them several examples of those. If more specifically, you know that they would be likely to buy a duplex versus a fourplex, or vice versa. Let's say they're interested in a fourplex because they already bought a duplex. Then only give them information on fourplexes, okay? And be proactive, prompt them, give them the information, offer the information first, and then ask for make the offer second, okay? Let's see, this is Jeanette. Yes, I have to write comments, otherwise I will not remember what we spoke about. Same thing, man, Jeanette. I have to write everything down. Even when I'm working with people who own their own offices, for example, there's so many of them, and I deal with hundreds and thousands of office managers every year. I always keep. Here, I'll just show you. Right, I keep. So this is. Where is this? This is part of California, right? I'll show you this, right? Print out and look at all these notes I made from when I spoke to them, okay? And I put over here micro market information, right? Using acronyms. So I do all this stuff, and boy, does it pay off, okay? Just doing these things I'm telling you guys tonight has made me millions of dollars. I mean, millions and millions of dollars over the years. Now, I've been doing this for a lot of years. And there were years just simply from brokerage production where my commissions alone were around the $1 million mark, okay? Just imagine the gross sales that was required to meet those kind of benchmarks. But it all became about because of all these things I'm showing you here tonight, okay? In any case, let's say, let's go back here to the questions. We got a couple of them here. Hang on 1 second. This is Jeanette. Hi, Jeanette. Let's see. How do you qualify these would-be investors without wasting time or missing an opportunity? So, excellent question. And what we'll do, Jeanette, I want to give you the high-level answer here because we'll do another class just on that question you just asked her, because that's one of the most critical things you can do, which is the interview. Okay, so let's say you do what I just suggested, and somebody says, "Yep, I want to do that." Okay, well, next thing you do is you want to say, "Great, I'm looking forward to helping you, or looking forward to helping you again, whatever the case is. In order to do that, I have a process I go through to help me gather information. Are you available tonight at 9 o'clock? Are you available today at 4 p.m.? Are you available tomorrow morning at 11 a.m.? Whatever it is, be specific and be direct, Jeanette, and ask that question. You want to set an appointment to talk to them. To them, it's a conversation, right? To us, it's an interview. To them, it's a conversation. To us, it's an interview. Actually, I just had this talk earlier today. Marianne. Is Marianne on? Let's see real quick. Marianne. Marianne Roth from Jersey City, New Jersey. Hang on one second. Actually, I think she said she was going to be able to make it. She's oh, there she is. Hi, Marianne. Things starting to sound familiar. I couldn't remember, Marianne. You said there was something you were doing with the mayor, and I'm sorry. I'll see when we turn 39, we you don't write these things down. Memories get confused. So, I guess Marianne's on. Marianne's doing this exact same thing, right? We just talked about it today, guys, on a strategy call. So back to hi, Marianne. Back to Jeanette's question. So Jeanette, set the appointment. Make sure you have time to focus on them, because you're going to ask them some questions, and make sure they have time to focus on helping provide you information. But you're trying to determine these 5 things. Okay, timing, motivation, readiness, willingness, and ability. Okay, now if you think about it, if you've already given them something meaningful, something relevant, like a sample property or samples of properties, like in the booklet, for example, okay? Marianne's working on the booklet. You've already pre-framed them to answer some of these questions in the interview, which is what motivates you, what type of investing you want to do. Because if you don't do this, guys, and you ask them, what do you want? You know what they're going to say? I want to make a lot of money. That doesn't really help us. We know they want to make a lot of money. We need to get really specific. Are they more interested in flipping, more interested in buy rentals? You get the picture. So when you give them samples of properties, they can say, yeah, I want one like that. Or no, I want one like this other one, okay? The point is you want to determine motivation and timing, readiness, willingness, ability. So once you've built rapport, and it's easy to do because you've given them something already, you can then move into the qualification phase, which is readiness and ability. Are they ready now? Do they have the ability to do it? Basically, are they financially qualified? You can only do that, Jeanette, if you've already built rapport. You would never ask those kind of questions right off the bat in a conversation. Most people, you lose them right there. Some people are okay with it, like people who are analytical, accountants, engineers. And believe me, they're going to be expecting these questions. If you don't ask them, they might think, well, why? How do they know what the heck to do? Ask these questions. Always remember this. I'll give you another tip here. Write this down. Who, what, where, when, how. When you ask open-ended questions, which is what those are, you get open-ended answers instead of just yes or no. We want them to talk. We want to ask the question and let them talk. So who, what, where, when, how, why. In any case, back to timing, motivation, readiness, willingness, ability. Jeanette, we'll go over this more in maybe we'll do that next week. It's a great subject to kick off the year too. The interview process, so you know you're working with the most highly qualified people based on those 5 categories, okay? So in any case, we're getting close to the end here, guys. I better make sure we're clean with all the questions. And actually, we are. How about that? And Jeff, by the way, I know, Jeff, you and I've got a call here at 5, California, 8 your time, and Dan Levy at 8:30 Eastern time. So in any case, guys, if you got another question, now's the time to type them in. I wanted to go over this early in the year to get it started. I also want to leave you with this thought. Taking action, if I could be with you at your kitchen table every morning, I would. But the fact is, we got to rely on each other. I got to rely on you to take action, guys. When you wake up in the morning, make sure you got your plan in place from the night before. Make sure with action steps, meaningful action steps, okay? Because the only way to get results is to take actions. And I'll tell you what, let's do this. Next week's webinar, I'm going to write this down, which, by the way, is going to be on the 16th. So 16th January, 4 p.m. California, 7 p.m. Eastern. Everyone else is in between. I'm going to go over a high-level view of determining actions and setting goals. There's a lot more to this. The process that I'm talking about is actually quite involved. It usually takes about 4 weeks to accomplish, and it's part of our mastermind program, and people pay. I think that's $10,000. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you in group fashion next week. Normally we do this one-on-one, right? So Marianne Van Ross in the mastermind group, for example. Okay, on the training platform level, I'll give you the big picture and give you the steps. Okay, but you got to execute the steps. All right. The challenge is not something we work on one-on-one at the training platform level. For those of you who move up and go into the next level, you're gonna get that because the stakes are higher, the visions are bigger. All right, we're no longer going to be working with duplexes. We're going to be working with Dan Levy, for example, is making an offer as we speak on a $2 million building in St. Louis. Okay, that's just one example. But if you're at the duplex level, let's just work there. All right. In any case, next Wednesday, what I'll do is we'll go over that, and then Jeanette, the following week, which will be Monday the 21st, I'll go over the interview process. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Okay, interview. And on the 15th, we'll do actions and goals. Actions and goals. Okay, and any other subject you guys want to go over, man, you got to let me know. Remember, everything we do is 99% based on what you're telling me, the feedback. I do kind of kick off the year like this way every year because I think it's important to start off on the right foot, put the best foot forward, take the right action, the best action steps. So I don't have any problem sharing with you what we do at the mastermind level in a kind of a summary fashion. So in any case, so I try to ramble. Let's get back here before we wrap things up. That was Jeanette. Okay, and this is Richard. Okay, is there a previous webinar about the interview process? Yeah, Richard, if you go to My Investment Services, go to the members area. Here, I'll click on it right now and show you. Then click on silver level, okay, right there. And you were given login information for this when you signed up. They go into weekly Q&A webinars. Okay, click on that. These are the most recent ones, so we have to go back. So if you scroll down through here, Richard, everyone has the subject that was covered. We've gone over this before, so after you go down, maybe look at like last year. Let's just go look at last January. Let's see. Let's see. I don't see managing rentals. Yeah, let's go back to 2017. Maybe we did it there. So January 2017. Okay, let's see here. There's the goal setting right there, January 5th. Personal assessment, goal setting, action planning. I gave some assignments, some work files. So click on that one, 2017, Richard 0105. That was my birthday, by the way. And then let's see if we can go back to 2016 and see if we did the database there. By the way, here's the interview process right here. 2016, January 20th, Richard. That's the interview process right there. So lots of good stuff out there, guys. Let's see. That was Richard. Thanks, Richard, for the question. Genevieve. Hi, Genevieve. Love it. Thank you for the taking action format. You're very welcome. And Genevieve, keep me up to date, Genevieve, if you don't mind, please, on how you're doing up there. Hopefully everything's settled down for you with your refrigerator repair. And also on the booklet campaign, send me the draft if you haven't already. And also the circle prospecting, right? That was something that's working on. And I think you're going to try to use the letter too for listings. That's a lot. Doing 3 things was pretty tough. But I know you've got it within you to do it, Genevieve. And look forward to seeing you again too, by the way, and can continue to work with you, Okay, let's see. That's awesome, Gary. Well, thank you, Jeanette. Okay, guys, I hope that you like this one. Let's keep the motivation level high. Let's stay inspired, keep encouraging each other, network, communicate. Go to the community site. So if you go here, let's go to homepage. And if you go to, let me scroll down here. Hang on one second, guys. Community site right here, right? Log in. Each of you should have your own profile out here. All right. I don't know how many people are out here now. I last checked, I think there was around 1,000. Okay. These are all you guys right here. So you can communicate on here. You can communicate with each other. We do have a closed Facebook site for the mastermind members. For everybody at the training platform level, I would say use this. You can go to myinvestmentservices.com, by the way, too. Facebook page. All right. So in any case, let's see here what other questions we have. Ed Hazel, a great event again this evening. Well, thanks, Ed. I'm sorry I couldn't meet up with you when I was in Toronto. When I got your email, I think it was the night I was actually leaving the next day. And when he says I have to fill in all the details, I was up there for a bit and had my plans change sort of midway stream my program there. And Genevieve was going to come down and visit too, by the way. Maybe the three of us should get together. But I'll be back up there. I know I'll be back up there in Toronto. I've got a meeting on April 1st with one of my mastermind groups. Let's see, and before that, I could not on the weekend of the 18th, 19th, 20th. I'll be out of London, Ontario, but I won't be going to Toronto. But in February, I may be going to Toronto over the weekend of Valentine's Day. We'll have to see on that. I'll keep you posted on that. In any case, guys, once again, I appreciate the opportunity to do this. I love doing this. Hope it shows. I love the fact that you guys are participating and taking action. And keep me informed. Whatever you're doing, let me know what results you're getting. And we need to know where you need help, okay? The fact is, it's so much easier to make progress when you got somebody kind of guiding you through the program. I mean, at least in my experience, and so my commitment is to offer that to you. So God bless you and your families, and we will see you next week. Okay, take care, guys. And Jeff, give me about 5 minutes, Jeff. I'll give you a buzz. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week. God bless you, and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.